my name's Grace Adam and this is my colleague Joshua White, and we're here to visit Lara Julian's exhibition in London, Above the Park, Seasons of Abstraction.
Lara Julian was born in Siberia and she now works in Hampstead in North London. She is an abstract painter and we're seeing a group of paintings made over the past few years.
So the inspiration of this painting is my love to work with scale and to explore different surfaces. And this particular painting was inspired by exploring primary and secondary colors. So it's about simplicity, which is a very traditional color combination, because the brush stroke is long and narrow and you can see a lot of layers. This painting is very labor demanding, as you can see, because my paintings, they don't have a horizon linear and I rotate them all the time. So for me, the process of work is very meditative, and my painting sessions, they are about 11 hours. Then I may have some sleep and then come back again. Sometimes my paintings, and this particular painting that took me a few years to produce, it was some stages of the development of this painting. They took some time. So, for example, I can produce it, I can apply texture, and then I can, take a couple of months or a few weeks to think what will be the next step. However, all my paintings, and this particular painting, they all have ideas. They start from the idea, and I work in series, and my series of my paintings, they're usually based on exploring primary and secondary colors.
So here we see Lara hanging these two interesting paintings together. This one made with oil, this one acrylic, and the way she's treated the surface, treated the canvas, very different. Smooth, long strokes mixing on the canvas, whereas this one is kind of grittier. It's a more, a lively surface.
Yeah, she was saying that she was interested in how Velázquez, the Spanish painter of the 17th century, used to apply paint directly to the canvas without mixing them. And so you can see lots of historical echoes in these two paintings. I mean, thinking about the history of abstraction itself, traditionally, abstraction has been divided into a more geometric expression, a geometric character. And then on the other hand, you have something much more instinctive and expressive, invested with more feeling. So you have on the one hand a kind of analytical approach, and on the other one more that is expressive with a sense of feeling. But she says that she's interested in a kind of formal approach, a sort of technical interest in color and line.
You're right. I mean, Lara is very invested in colour relationships. She has a background, some training in colour technology. So she's really expert at understanding what one colour does to another colour as they sit together. And it's a formal investigation about the effect that has on a viewer.
That idea of placing complementary colours together that would sort of arouse this vibration that intensifies colour. And you can see that in the paintings, particularly this work on the left, with these thin bands that sort of turn and twist. Colour comes forward, it also recesses, and you have this nice sense of rhythm and even musicality.
This is my most recent painting. The canvas was bought in November 2022, and it took me some time to develop this texture. So in this painting, I wanted to explore my work on small scale, because my paintings from previous years of my artistic development, they were 2 by 2 meter and big scale acrylic paintings. So this painting is another stage of my artistic development when I am exploring working with limited color palettes, and I'm working with developing a lot of texture. So this particular painting was inspired by northern landscape, by landscapes of Norway called fjords, and they are very famous for the atmosphere of calmness, tranquility, amazing light and amazing air. So for this particular painting, I used thick acrylic paint as the basement, as the first layer, and the first few layers to develop this interesting texture. And then I covered it with a light green oil paint and warm white oil paint. And I want this painting specifically to be very limited and very calming, and explore these textures and thinking about the air that surrounds them, the sun, our universe, and different landscape that we can enjoy when we live on Earth. I'm standing in front of my most recent painting called The Phoenix. The Phoenix is a metaphorical meaning for freedom, for spiritual development. So it took me a few years to produce it. This is oil on canvas, and if you can see, I created the texture first. So we have here a diagonal movement, and if you look at the painting, you can see that it is wings of phoenix, or you can say wings of angel. It was about exploring movement and exploring, creating a depth when using oil paint. So the texture was created with a palette knife, as you can see here and here. It's exploring, the texture is exploring a diagonal movement. So it's a very simple composition, but it also very engaging and very meditative when you look at this piece.
We're standing in front of this amazing painting, which is iridescent. It kind of glows and sparkles, and is, in a weird way, it's kind of close color palette. We've got this kind of layer, this layer of kind of whites and silvers on top, and then, typical of Lara's way of working, there is a whole world of color underneath it.
Yes, I mean, I'm really sort of intrigued by this kind of mother of pearl sheen and reflection of light. And here, the stripes are quite indistinct. They bleed together, and you can see, if you examine the surface closely, a kind of wet on wet technique whereby the colors sort of flow into each other. And so it's very sort of dense in terms of color and of effect formally. So in the exhibition, we're seeing how Lara works with abstraction, with color and line. There isn't a hard and fast structure as such, but she's guided by, it seems like, instincts, instinctual decisions on the application and exploration of color itself.
And she talks about looking at painters like Monet, Joseph Albers and his colour theory, Richter, and as you say, they inform her quite serious, I think, investigations of colour.
Yes, and technically the paintings are quite complex. The layering, the use of a palette knife, the exaggeration of texture, of wet paint bleeding into other colors. So there's a real working of those surfaces.
And it's good to see it in such an amazing space. You know, Lara talks about nature, she talks about the seasons. We're up here, high above London, and you see the paintings in relationship to the greenery outside and also to the piece of architecture where they're living at the moment.